I'm Brian Stelter. Merry Christmas Eve to you and your family. It's time for Reliable Sources, our weekly look at the story behind the story, of how the media really works and how the news gets made. Today is a special edition, a chance to critically examine President Trump's relationship with the press at the one-year mark. Are alternative facts the new normal? Are partisan extremes here to stay? And what's the significance of all the leaks to news outlets this year? And later, it's the one end of the year list that you don't want to end up on. PolitiFact's top editor is here to share the lie of the year. But first, I want to take you back in time. You know, so much has happened this year, it's easy to forget some of the shocking developments. For example, when you hear these words, are you still shocked?
I have a running war with the media. They are among the most dishonest human beings on earth.
That is how it began. On Trump's very first day waking up in the White House, he turned on the TV and he turned angry at what he saw. Journalists were pointing out that the audience for his inauguration was smaller than Obama's. So Trump fired back, exaggerating his crowd size and then sending Sean Spicer out to defend him. You know, Trump even described the inauguration weather inaccurately. He said the skies became really sunny after his speech, when in fact it remained cloudy and started to rain a little bit. I think that's actually a metaphor for the year. Trump painted a dark picture of American carnage and then said he alone could fix it. He believed his world was always sunny. When Trump played loose with the facts and journalists challenged him on that, he couldn't stand it. I mean, here's an example you've probably forgotten. This is from February.
The murder rate in our country is the highest it's been in 47 years, right? Did you know that? 47 years. I used to use that. I'd say that in a speech and everybody was surprised because the press doesn't tell it like it is. It wasn't to their advantage to say that.
It wasn't to our advantage to say that because it wasn't true. Obviously, fact checkers jumped into action trying to counter the claim that he was making about the murder rate. But, you know, Trump's really cynical, sinister view of journalism that we don't really want to tell people the truth, it came through in his comments all year long. Here's another example.
Radical Islamic terrorists are determined to strike our homeland. It's gotten to a point where it's not even being reported. And in many cases, the very, very dishonest press doesn't want to report it. They have their reasons, and you understand that.
There he is telling members of the U.S. military that the press was intentionally downplaying, even covering up, terrorist attacks. If anything, the opposite is true. All year long, I heard anchors and reporters and editors reaching for new ways to say that's not true and that makes no sense. And all year long, I heard the president coming up with new ways to call us the enemy.
We are fighting the fake news. It's fake, phony, fake. A few days ago, I called the fake news the enemy of the people, and they are.
That was February. Now let's fast forward all the way to August.
Truly dishonest people in the media and the fake media. They make up stories. They have no sources in many cases. They say a source says there is no such thing, but they don't report the facts.
Some people have gotten numb to this, but these are really sinister claims from a world leader and totally unsupported by the real facts. I mean, heck, there were times this year that I used White House aides as anonymous sources because the aides would not speak on the record. Journalists don't go around making up sources. But look, the onus was and still is on us in the press to better explain why we do what we do. For example, why we agree to keep sources anonymous sometimes, how we vet our facts. Trump's daily media attacks have been a challenge and an opportunity. You know, so when he says something like this,
It's frankly disgusting the way the press is able to write whatever they want to write. And people should look into it.
Yes, look into it. I think the more that you know about how newsrooms work, how journalists work, the more likely you are to know that it's not fake. Yes, one of the president's favorite words, fake. He told his supporters all year long that the press was out to get him, out to take him down. And many people believe it. The country is split on this question, and it's an ongoing issue for newsrooms. So let's bring in an all-star panel of decision